So I want to know first about the signing with Bellator, kind of how it came about, all the details with that.
Yeah, so I was just really active, and I fought in March, and I was looking to fight, really as soon as possible. I hurt my hand, had surgery, couldn't fight in May, so really June through August I was looking to fight. And I have a great manager in Ali, and he started poking around as a good manager should do. Found some doors that were open for me. Some good negotiation happened, and we got the deal done.
So were you signed to Bellator and then you kind of took this last minute fight, or was that kind of in the talks when you were negotiating with them? Do you know?
Correct. Yeah, I signed, and then a potential opponent had an opponent pull out, and I had been training and I was active and ready to go. So I said yes, and that's kind of how that came about. So yeah, I was not anticipating that I'd be on the July 22nd card, but I'm very happy that I am.
So I hear mixed reviews. Half of the fighters I talk to say they don't like the short notice fights because they want to have a full camp. They want to feel prepared. Then the other half really likes it because they don't have to think about an opponent for too long or focus on the fight too long. They can just get in there and get out. What's your philosophy on that?
I definitely, if I had my way, I would definitely prefer to have as much notice as possible, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, whatever it is. But that being said, before the Bellator talk came, I had my prior fight was with Eagle, and we were eyeing a July 29th date with Eagle. Anyways, something happened. The fight didn't go through, and they didn't have that card at all. So I was anticipating a late July, early August fight anyway. So it wasn't like I wasn't already in camp. I just didn't have a fight line.
And what were your first thoughts when you got the name
of the opponent?
Yeah,
I was happy. I'm happy with it. Well, 2 prospects. Unfortunately, some things did not work out, and it's from my understanding, it's not the same opponent anymore. But I was happy with that, and two undefeated prospects building into it. But yeah.
So you have a new opponent now too? Are you allowed to say?
I don't have any contractual agreement at the moment that says blank name, but there's some names, yeah. And so I don't know. There's nobody that I can be like, yes, this is the guy that I'm fighting. I just know that I'm ready to fight July 22nd. Yeah, we're ready to rock.
Well, there goes half my questions. No, I'm just kidding. I only think I had one. So I know that you train with Kamaru Usman. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah.
So I want to know just one quick, hopefully easy question. I would love to know something that maybe people don't know about him that you think we should know about him.
Let me think. Sometimes just back scenes, I guess, in normal training sessions, some people will, whether it be coaches or other fighters or something, they'll bring their kiddos around, right? And because they have to come to training because they need the kids around. I need somebody to watch them. And, he's just really friendly, and I think he just naturally likes kids. So, he always makes some time to go out of his way and go say what's up to the little kid, whether it's like a 2-year-old, a 1-year-old, a really small kid, play around with them, or it's a little older, a 10, 12, 13-year-old, stuff like that. He always does a good job of including them, and they're not just at practice watching dad or mom or just being in the gym kind of intimidated. He does a good job of, making that little kid feel included, I guess.
That's awesome. What about what's something that you've learned from him?
A lot. I've learned a lot. You get the opportunity to train side by side, hand with hand, sweat to sweat with the pound for pound best guy in the world. You're going to learn a lot, even if there was no words spoken. Thankfully for me, outside of just training, we've built a good relationship, friendship also. And there are a lot of words that are spoken. So, there's a lot of things that I have learned, and it's hard to pinpoint just one specific.
And you're undefeated. Is there any pressure to remain undefeated? Because you always hear that, oh, I'm undefeated, but that's not easy to maintain for a long extended period of time. Is that something that's in your head, like, hey, this might not last?
Yeah, I don't really think about it too much, honestly. You know, I guess if you look at it in that aspect, in an MMA aspect, then I am undefeated. But you know, I grew up wrestling, and let's say that I've wrestled 1,000 wrestling matches in my life. I probably have lost 200 of them. You know, so I don't feel like I'm just some guy who's never lost anything. I know what losing feels like. It's not foreign to me, you know. So no, I don't really think about it too much. I just continue to try and improve myself. I've lost hundreds of times in wrestling that I was very passionate about. And yeah, so that's you know, I don't just kind of look at it and just being like, I'm a guy who's never lost. You know what I mean?
And I guess for some, you know, group of fans, this might be the first time they're seeing you fight. I'm wondering if you could kind of explain or introduce yourself. What kind of fight should they expect? It's hard to say because we don't know who your opponent is, but
yeah. Yeah, I mean, so outside of them, I think at this early stage, when you get older and you're in the upper ranks of, like, you know, like Kamaru or something, you get a pretty good you know pretty well who you're gonna fight, right? And when you're younger like me, you kind of have to just take what it is that you get. You know, in situations like this, somebody might pull out. It's a lot different when there's you know, more stakes. So I'm gonna plan on bringing my best anyway. So it doesn't really depend on my opponent. I'm gonna go out there, be an explosive person, strong person. I'm in good shape. I'm not just a guy who only wrestles. I do have a really good wrestling background, and I do love my wrestling, but I also like to mix it up and throw some strikes in there and kind of just get the fans excited about watching a wrestler fight.
I know this is only, I think, your second fight for Bellator, correct?
Correct, yeah.
At what point in your career do you start thinking of a game plan, of a direction towards the title? Or do you think about that from day one?
Yeah, I mean, I train every day, you know, a few times a day, very hard, and I push myself way before I got signed to Bellator and way before I became a professional. Right? I want to be the best that I can be in this game, and myself and my coaches, we agree that we both all collectively think that can be one of the best in the game. So I'm not exactly just gonna be right here in my head calling out whoever the champion is right now, but definitely that is definitely, I want to be world champion, and that is definitely on the radar, and that's something that I am eyeing and we are eyeing as a team.
And I guess my last question, again, a little hard without an opponent, but do you have a prediction for your fight? A way you'd like to see it end?
Fun, right? Exciting, not boring, not just a double leg, hold them down for 14 minutes kind of fight. You know, we're gonna go out there and have some fun. And yeah, ultimately I want to get the finishes, because finishes make you more money. Finishes get to interview with you. Finishes get, right, all the good things people want to see in the sport come from exciting fights and finishes and stuff like that. So I want to do as much of that as possible. But, you know, that being said, I respect my opponents, and you know, they might have different plans, so we'll just see how it goes. But, you know, I'm kind of going out there and just being an exciting fighter.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.